Larry Bird never wanted to coach, just a 3-year promise and a warning that he wasn't staying.
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you guys are having a good night so far. Hope you all had a good day. This one was requested, and I definitely wanted to do this because this is a part of, well, here's the title first. A video from a channel called Bench Bosses, which, by the way, it's 719 subscribers. So another one of those videos, if you guys like, consider subscribing. Link will be down below in the description. But the title of this is called The Coaching Genius No One Saw Coming. And it's about Larry Bird in Indiana, you guys. And I totally agree. I think he coached for what, like 3 years? Was it 3 or 4 seasons? And I mean, what he accomplished is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm totally excited to watch this and react to it with you guys. It was a great suggestion by the community. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I know I've been talking about Bird a lot, and I'm not sorry one bit. Bird's one of those guys I'll never stop talking about, you know? But anyways, I definitely wanted to check this out because it's one part about Bird's legacy that is not really talked about a lot, and it's not like Bird got fired or something like that. He stayed on as a consultant with Indiana, but when he agreed to do the job, he specifically said, I will do it for this amount of time. And like I said, I think it was 3 or 4 years, but whatever he said, that's what he did. He did no more, he did no less. You know what I mean? So he was just trying to get the team on the map. And honestly, he did a fantastic job, and it would have been great for Indiana if he kept coaching, but I understand he only had so much to give, and he didn't want to keep going. But anyways, let's enjoy this video together, guys. I'm linking the original video down below in the description if you want to check it out. There you'll also see a list of channel members. I tip my hat off to you, channel members. I really appreciate it. And welcome new members too. Guys, like the video, and let's do this, huh?
Larry Bird never wanted to coach. Just a 3-year promise and a warning that he wasn't staying.
Okay, 3 years then.
But in that short window, he won Coach of the Year, pushed Jordan's Bulls to the brink, and led the Pacers to their first ever finals. So, how did a guy with 0 experience nearly take down 2 dynasties? Was he a genius hiding in plain sight? After retiring in 1992, Larry Bird disappeared from the game.
So today I'm retiring, and I'm still going to be around.
No TV, no front office gig, just fishing, golfing. He was once asked about coming back to the game. His answer, I don't enjoy the spotlight, never have.
I so resonate with people like him and Michael Jordan, because I would be the same way if I was that famous, you know, just like, nah, I did my job. It's time for me to go and relax and enjoy some privacy, you know?
I'd rather be home mowing my lawn. To Bird, coaching meant long hours, media scrutiny, and a life he'd already walked away from. The Pacers were flailing, 39 and 43, with Reggie Miller still in his prime, but a locker room on the edge. Tensions were high, direction was unclear. Fans weren't just frustrated, they were running out of faith. They didn't need a tactician, they needed a savior. And for Indiana, there was only one name big enough to inspire instant hope: Larry Legend. He had never coached a single game, but his aura alone made people believe.
What an intro.
Pacers fans, it was a dream, their hometown hero back to restore order. Bird said yes, but with one non-negotiable condition. He would coach for exactly 3 seasons, no more, no less. He didn't want to be the next Phil Jackson. He wasn't chasing rings or legacies. He wanted to reset the culture, build a winner, and then walk away. But what no one expected was how quickly he would do it. Year 1, instant impact. Larry Bird took a team that missed the playoffs and turned them into a 58-win powerhouse. The Pacers didn't just improve, they became contenders. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, they went face-to-face with the ultimate test: Michael Jordan's Bulls, a dynasty.
Guys, that Indiana team was so good too. Like, if you look at that roster between like Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Chris Mullen. I'm obviously forgetting some other people, but just off the top of my head.
Juggernaut, the final season of The Last Dance. They pushed Jordan's Bulls to 7 games, arguably the toughest series Chicago faced that entire dynasty.
I think
in
so.
Game 7,
Yeah,
with Reggie
that's
Miller's
fair.
title dreams on the line, Bird called a timeout, rallied his veterans, and trusted Miller to lead a furious comeback. They fell just short, but Bird's poise under pressure sent a message. This wasn't just a player coasting on his name. This wasn't a novelty hire. This was a coach with presence, command, and vision.
Yeah, that's all they needed too. They had the roster. They just needed the vision.
Miller later said, Larry didn't yell. He just looked at you, and you knew you had to step up.
He's like Tim
That
Duncan.
trust in his players turned a good team into a great one. Think about it. A rookie coach, no prior experience, going toe-to-toe with Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The greatest dynasty in NBA history. Bird's calm leadership, trusted veterans, and no-nonsense style clicked fast. He won NBA Coach of the Year, and true to form, he barely reacted. No speeches, no chest pounding, just a nod.
He hands the trophy back. Did he really do that? He's like, yeah, thanks.
Back to work.
Back to work.
Was this just beginner's luck, or was Bird building something?
Oh man, I love this
bigger?
guy.
Larry Bird wasn't a tactician like Popovich. He didn't obsess over X's and O's, but he did something just as valuable. He built a
He's
culture
like, I don't want that. I want the Larry O'Brien trophy. Just get this crap out of my way.
the players believed in. Bird surrounded himself with sharp minds, Rick Carlisle,
right.
Dick Harder, and let them do what they did best.
What is this image?
Science, Rick Carlisle,
Rick, Dick, come on,
Dick
man.
Harder, and let
Y'all
them
know
do
you already
what
got me
they
laughing.
did best.
All right.
He didn't micromanage, he empowered. Behind the scenes, he held players accountable, managed egos, and out front, he led with quiet confidence. No drama, no distractions, just standards.
No, yeah, you never saw him yell. He had that poker face those entire 3 years.
The results spoke for themselves. Back-to-back trips to the Eastern Conference Finals in 98 and 99. In the chaotic lockout-shortened 99 season, with no training camp and a new-look roster, Bird still led the Pacers to a 33-17 record and another deep run. Any doubts about him being a one-year wonder? Gone.
Oh, yeah.
Then came 2000. This was the moment Pacers fans had been waiting for. Reggie Miller still chasing his first ring. A young Jalen Rose finally stepping into the spotlight.
Oh, yeah, Jalen
Bird
Rose.
saw something in Rose, something others didn't. He gave him freedom, and Rose delivered, a breakout playoff weapon, a symbol of Bird's low-key gift, developing talent by trusting it. But just as they reached the mountaintop, they found a monster waiting.
Yeah.
The finals, Shaq and Kobe, 67 wins, prime dominance.
I gotta tell you the truth, I predicted a sweep in this one. And it was so heartbreaking too, because I hated the Lakers and I love Reggie Miller. I was really hoping he'd win. And I also love Bird too, so him being a coach, this was a no-brainer who I was rooting for this series. But I saw zero hope here.
The Lakers weren't just good,
No, they were monsters.
They were inevitable. Bird's Pacers battled. They kept it close. They fought through every screen, every elbow, every fourth quarter run. But in the end, the Lakers were too much. The Pacers fell in 6. Still, the impact was undeniable.
I mean, guys, I gotta say, taking that series to 6, props to you guys. Indiana did good.
Indiana.
Any other team in the world, the Pacers would have won, but they had to go against this monster.
Reached its first ever NBA Finals, and Larry Bird, just 3 years in, had taken them there. Most coaches spend a lifetime chasing that moment. Bird did it on his own terms. The question now wasn't whether Bird could coach, it was why he'd already decided to stop. And just like that, Larry Bird walked away. No messy contract drama, no locker room mutiny, no front office feud. He coached exactly 3 seasons, just like he said he would. No more, no less.
The thing is Bird didn't do it for himself. He did it to serve Indiana. He was doing them a solid. Because any other coach who just went to the finals, no way are they walking away like this unless they got fired, which would be crazy to fire him in this scenario. So he was literally like it's like being in the military and serving your time. It was like I served my time. Time to walk away.
I never intended to coach long term. 3 years. That's it. He didn't leave because he failed. He left because he finished what he set out to do.
Job
At
done.
his peak coach of the year, a finals appearance, and a culture reset. He walked away with the respect of his players.
And then he handed it right to Rick Carlisle, right? Which, I mean, look at what's gone on since then. I think that was a good choice, right? All these years later, look where Rick is standing.
Peers and his state. No scandals, no burnout, just results, legacy, closure. But for Pacers fans, it still stung. Bird had given them hope, a new identity, a reason to believe again. And then he was gone. He left on his terms, leaving behind one of the shortest, most successful coaching tenures in NBA history.
Straight up.
And one big question: what if he had stayed? Larry Bird wasn't just the Pacers coach, he was Indiana's son. From the hardwood at Indiana State to the bright lights of Boston, he carried the pride of an entire state.
And he probably felt a little bit of obligation to serve Indiana because everything that he accomplished in the NBA was, that was in Boston. That was in Massachusetts. So different scenario. And I could totally respect it. He was like, all right, I don't think he wanted to, but he probably felt like an obligation to Indiana itself to contribute.
But coaching the Pacers, that was personal. It wasn't about legacy. It was about giving back. He took a fractured franchise and gave it a heartbeat. From small-town French Lick to the biggest stage in basketball. Bird became a living reminder of Indiana's underdog spirit. His 3 years on the sideline weren't just about wins. They were about proving what was possible for a team, a city, and a state that never stopped believing. And in doing so, Bird gave Indiana something it had never had before and hasn't forgotten since: a blueprint for greatness. Larry Bird's coaching career was short, but nearly flawless. 147 wins, just 67 losses, a .687 win rate, coach of the year, and a finals run in just 3 seasons. His playoff record, 11-12. Not eye-popping until you remember who he lost to: Michael Jordan's Bulls.
Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, 2 of the most dominant dynasties the league has ever seen. And unlike other NBA legends who struggled on the sidelines, Magic Johnson lasted 16 games. Isaiah Thomas flamed out in New York. Bird, he built a finals team on his first try. So the question hangs in the air. What if he had stayed? Could he have become the next Popovich? Could he have built a dynasty in Indiana? His 3-year stretch screams untapped potential. A coaching career that didn't fade out, it just ended too soon. Years later, Bird would return as an executive and build another Pacers contender around Paul George. Different role, same results: winning, stability, culture. He may never be remembered as one of the greatest coaches of all time, but maybe that's because he never gave us the chance to see just how great he could have been.
He could have been.
Most NBA legends flop as coaches. Larry Bird, he crushed it and then vanished. Coach of the year, finals run, .687 win rate, and he still walked away. So, was he one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA coaching history? Drop a comment. Could Bird have built a dynasty if he stayed? But if Bird left with grace, our next coach, he left scorched earth behind. To see the NBA coach whose ego exploded a locker room and nearly erased.
Okay. Hey, that was fun. That was actually really enjoyable. And I love the subject matter here. And I don't disagree with anything here. Like, it is honestly one of the weirdest coaching stories in the NBA we've ever seen. Because this is a guy he's doing it to serve. He's not doing it for the paycheck. He's not doing it for the fame or like to boost his ego or anything. He was literally just serving his hometown. And I always respected it. And the fact that he literally said it right off the bat: I'm going to give you 3 years, no more, no less. That's it. And he did exactly that. And while he did it, he gave it his all. And he really he changed the narrative in Indiana into a winning culture. And I remember after they lost in Game 7 against the Bulls in 98, and then the Bulls team blew up, I was thinking like, holy crap, are they gonna win a championship now? I was kind of hoping they would, you know, like, because it was like, okay, the big monster Bulls are out of the way now. You know, it's clear sailing to get to that championship, but it just didn't happen. They got close, but no, it didn't happen. But anyways, I never seen anything like that in professional sports. Maybe you guys got some other examples of somebody who just went to served their hometown, basically, their hometown team, didn't really want to do it, but felt an obligation to do it, and just did it for a couple of years, had major success, then dropped the mic and walked away. Because that's a baller move, man. Like that's like, you know, that's one dude. Larry Bird is not full of crap whatsoever. He says what he means, and he says what he intends, and there's no confusing what or who he is or what his intentions are. He's always been very brutally honest about it, and I really, really respect that, you guys. Anyways, y'all know how I feel about Bird, but yeah, we tend to forget. Most players like him, they don't make good coaches, you know. I've usually noticed that the best coaches are usually the role players, and I think it's because they're playing less and they're watching more, they're observing more, and they're usually, you know, the coach's pet, so they're like absorbing all this information while they're on the bench. And those players I've seen usually end up being the best coaches. Now, a legend like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, these guys usually make the worst coaches. If you guys remember Magic's little stint, it didn't go so well. And then he also got Jordan, whenever asked about it, he's like, I don't have the patience for that. I can't do it. Because he's going to expect the team to do things that, the players to do things that he would expect out of himself, but he understands that that's an unrealistic expectation to have on these young players. But Larry Bird somehow pulled it off, man. I don't get it. He's an enigma in every facet of the game. He's been an absolute enigma, how he's able to accomplish everything he's accomplished. Anyways, you guys, I'm out of here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'll see you down there. Like the video if you haven't done it yet. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And most importantly, everybody, it's to be water, my friends. Peace out.